Welcome to the Content Blurs. We're your hosts, and we're giving you everything from comic book stuff to Star Wars, all kind of nerd geek culture. We're bringing this to you. It's been a while since we've been with you guys. We wanted to make sure that we got some more professional things going on. Plus, there's been a lot going on, just period. But we're back to talk about it. So we're gonna kick things off with talking about WandaVision, right? So with WandaVision, we've seen that this is a new series from the MCU. It's finally like our first MCU series on Disney Plus. This is what we've been waiting for, right? We've been waiting to hear about all of these other stories and stories that I think that may not be as big as translating to the big screen. That was the whole purpose of this, right? To have those to fill in the gaps and things like that. I'm just going to start off with me. Personally, the first two episodes, and I know some people love them, and that's cool. I thought they were trash. I'm just going to be honest. Like, when I first watched them, I thought that they were trash because obviously, you know, the I Love Lucy thing, I just wasn't vibing with that. Obviously, I felt like I knew that there was something more to it, but I just personally thought, and this is just me, I thought that by episode 2, we would be out of Lucy Land, and we were not out of Lucy Land in episode 2. It was still going on, so it just at first was falling kind of flat to me. By episode 3, like what really made me stick with it was I knew that, you know, talking to Kaiser, just looking around on Reddit and stuff like that, I knew that there was some kind of purpose to this, right? I wanted to see where they were going. And so I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but I read ahead and saw some things and I'm like, nah, this connects to some pretty important stuff, right? And so then I was like, all right, let me come back episode 3. Hopefully we're not in Lucy Land again, right? And this time we weren't. We were for like a brief moment, but it started to get very interesting. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is dope. All right. I'm very intrigued in what's going on now. We get to episode 4, and that is what really brought me in. It was like, all right, I'm here now. I'm definitely here now because we took a break from Lucy Land. We got to see other things like Rambo and how her storyline affected everything and how what happened with the blip and all of that happening. Like we got to see that. And then we also got to see at the end her kind of get thrown out of Wanda's world. And then it was just really game on. And then we have like one of the biggest episodes in episode 5 because we have a major reveal at the end. So if you're here and you don't like spoilers and you haven't watched WandaVision yet, I'm going to give you to right now. This is your warning to exit this video. So if you don't want to know what's going on, you can hit that exit. But we saw at the end, which I had kind of read online too, and I heard that he was coming. We saw Quicksilver. The twist was it was Quicksilver, the actor from, you know, the X-Men First Class line, which everybody agreed. I think we all can agree that he was the best Quicksilver. He was way better than the MCU version, in my opinion, at least. But I'm at this point now, and I'm kind of ready to see what this series can bring. So at first, when I first watched it, I thought the first 2 episodes were trash. I will stand by that. I still stand by that now. I still feel like they were trash. But I understand why they did that, laying that groundwork until where the series is kind of going. The other thing is, I don't know why the credits were so long, bro. It was like 7 or 8 minutes worth of credits. Like, I don't know why. Like, I would expect to see like maybe a end credit scene or something leading into the next episode. Nah, it's just some long ass credits. So with that being said, Kaiser, what were your thoughts about WandaVision? Because you were way more, like we were talking before the show, and you kind of talked about some things that you knew it was based on. What were your thoughts about it coming in?
I already kind of knew, like, I don't know how they was going to do it, but I already knew that it was going to be low key based off House M. And if anyone who doesn't, I know stuff. I know you probably know about House M.
Yeah. Tell the people.
Yeah, basically after, I think it was like Avengers Disassemble in the comic books. Wanda basically has a mental breakdown. I think Vision had ended up getting killed, and she ended up basically going crazy. So, you know, she basically warps reality and she makes this utopia. And I think that that's what they're kind of drawing on in this new series, because you can kind of see hints of it, of her mental instability there. And especially when when old girl mentioned Pietro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Ultron. Yeah. When she dropped them names.
She dropped them
Yeah.
names.
Well, see, I was wondering when they were going to do that because I mean, throughout the comic books, TV series, all that, like Wanda is considered to be crazy, like, and we haven't seen that from that character until now. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see that they finally bringing that in there because it's just like they were just trying to make sure make her look like she just goody two shoes for real, with no psychotic break, and that's a part of her character.
Because I was confused. I was like, oh snap, Vision's back, or is this Vision, or is this like
right
conjured up in her mind? Because I was like, oh, Vision died, he ain't come back. So
yeah.
and, you know, when everything started unraveling,
he was
I was
dead,
like,
dead. Vision was dead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they're kind of like taking more inspiration from comic books. It would be nice to have seen Vision and Wanda's make believe kids too. That would be really cool too, you know. But
it seems like they're trying to do that. Like, I don't know if have you seen the most recent episodes?
No, not yet.
Okay, so let me give you a breakdown of what's happened. So the first 2 episodes is I Love Lucy Land. There's no explanation what's going on, what time period this is, anything.
And a little bit of the Brady Bunch too.
Yeah, a little bit of the Brady Bunch as well. And essentially it just shows Wanda and Vision, them living in this town, them trying to keep this secret that they're mutants, but it's like you don't know what time period it is. And so like at the end of one episode, Wanda's like in the kitchen and you can hear what is Sword trying to radio to her, like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you? Right? So at that point, you still think like Wanda doesn't know what's going on. She's having a mental breakdown because they have these commercials that they show and they're actually connected to like her trauma, like traumatic experiences that she's going through with losing Vision, losing her brother and stuff like that. Episode 2, it's a lot more of the same, but like the episode 2 is, I think, when Sword finally radios in and tries to warn her about something. Episode 3, if my memory serves me correct, which Coach, you just watched it literally yesterday, but episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of, to me, it kind of gives a lot of the Truman Show vibes, where there's like characters inside of this fantasy land that are starting to kind of try to break out, and you start to see these weird like glitches and stuff kind of happen. And then you start to
Geraldine, and why doesn't she have a home?
Exactly, Geraldine, and why she doesn't have a home. Like, people are starting to question this weirdness of this place, right? And so then you see like she starts to have babies, and it's like the time warp is kind of fast. It's kind of speeding up. So like when Monica Rambeau's character, which at first you actually don't know who Monica Rambeau's character is, they just have her come on the show. Like, she just shows up like she's one of the people. She shows up out of nowhere. And this whole time, Wanda has gotten pregnant. She's getting ready to have the kids, and it's moving fast, like super fast. Like every 2 minutes, now she's gone from 3 months pregnant to 9 months pregnant. 2 minutes later, she's having the baby. So Monica Rambeau's character basically helps her deliver the baby, but then she asks her about Ultron, and then that's when you see Wanda say like, what's like, who are you? Like, nah, you're not from here. What are you doing here?
Start looking at the symbols and putting stuff together. Like,
right, she's putting stuff together. And Vision is out trying to do something to get somebody back to the crib, the doctor back to the crib to deliver the baby. And he comes back and she's gone. But Wanda has like blasted her through like 10 houses out of the thing. And then at that episode, you see Monica Rambeau fall out of where Wanda's little world is. So you see that it's all fake, like this whole big thing. And so that's like where
military base, almost, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like a military base where Sword is set up outside. The next episode goes into showing Monica Rambeau's backstory. So it wakes up with showing her coming back from the blip, like she was snapped. So she comes back. She finds out that her mom is dead. Captain Marvel's friend, her mom, is dead because she's older now, right? Because the Captain Marvel time frame, that was back in the 90s. So this is her as an adult. She finds out that her mom died from cancer. Her mom was going in like I think immediately when she first came in, and she thought that she had made it out, but apparently like after she got blipped, her mom died after she got blipped or whatever. So she comes back. Technically, she's supposed to be the leader of SWORD because her mom was in charge of it, but they didn't have anyone there, so they made this one guy that she knew kind of the leader of it. And so it just shows like what her whole thing is. And so her thing is she finds out that there's this village that's pretty much just disappeared. They're trying to study this anomaly and figure out what's going on. The chick from Thor, she's like one of the scientists or whatever. She starts working for SWORD. She's able to put the WandaVision broadcast on like a TV. So they still have the same questions that we at the audience have. Like, okay, how is this happening? What time period is this? Vision is dead. Like, how is he there? So then they figure out that, you know, she's basically created this world, and then Monica Rambeau gets sucked into the world, and that's how it shows everything pretty much from her perspective, what happens. So she comes in, then it shows, they start to see that Wanda's blocking certain things from being shown. And so right when she asks her about Ultron, Wanda makes it appear to their broadcast that it's like a commercial going on. Then it flips back to Monica and Wanda talking. And then you get the idea that Wanda knows what's going on and Wanda is in on it. And when she pushed her out, it's because she was like, stay out of there, stay out of here. This is where my happiness is. This is where, you know, Vision is still here. We got our kids now. The kids are basically babies and stuff like that now. So the kids are growing up. So they do have her 2 kids in the show now. And then, you know, like I said, people are just showing up, bro. It's pretty good.
I wonder if they're going to So my biggest question right now with the whole Quicksilver thing, is that going to be like she conjured him, or is he really there, or if that is like, because you know in the before Disney took before Disney took the Avengers, Wanda and Pietro weren't considered mutants; they were like gifted or something like that.
Right.
So I wonder if him being there now makes it, you know, canon that she's a mutant and that Magneto is her dad. Because I don't know if you guys
their dad. They're both.
I think what everybody said is
we already know Pedro is his son. We are stepping up from the movies, but you know it was always kind of debated in the movies because
they did say that they were gifted, like when they showed them in the Avengers Age of Ultron.
But we know what gifted means, because what is Xavier's gifted? Exactly.
I know. But this is what I'll say. What the Pietro scene, from what people are saying, is the fact that it wasn't her Pietro from their timeline. It was a key to say that the multiverse is breaking. Like the fact that it's Pietro from the Fox thing, like, because they made a joke and they were like, they recast Pietro. Like, so basically it's giving you a clue that the multiverse is unraveling and a different version of Pietro from an alternate universe is here and knocking at her door. She's still shocked to see him, though. Like, we're all shocked to see him. We're still trying to, and then the other thing is they did allude to Vision's body was dead. She stole his body and went back into her WandaVision, I guess we'll just call it that area, with his dead body. So he's dead. And they said, like, if he doesn't have the Mind Stone, there's no way that he can be alive. So how is he alive? So that's still a mystery that we haven't figured out yet either. Because it seems like it's Vision, and Vision is starting to kind of pick up on the fact that other people are being controlled. So he's figuring out that Wanda is somehow utilizing this. And in the last episode, he kind of came at her about it. And he's like, yo, I just touched this dude's head. Because like all of the people that are in her town, right, on the outside world, it's just this whole entire town that went missing. All of them, all of these thousands of people are in this WandaVision place. Yeah. But she's wiped their memories and they have no recollection of why they're there. But sometimes they slowly start to remember. So Vision is at like his job and this dude starts to remember and he's like, bro, you got to tell her to stop like controlling us. I got to get back to my family. Like there's something that I got going on the outside and this and that. And Vision is like, man, I knew something was wrong with this. And then dude just overwhelms him. So he turns him back into whatever he was doing. Then he goes and makes a beeline for Wanda. And he's like, look, I don't know what you're doing, what's going on here, but I'm done. And he's kind of on the, and I say that it's like the Truman Show, because it's like when Jim Carrey's character starts to realize something is wrong, he wants to get out. He wants to leave. That's where Vision is at right now. He's trying to get out of Westview, and Wanda is like, nah, you can't leave. You can't leave, because if you leave, I'm thinking that if he leaves, he's gonna die. I don't know, but that's where it's kind of at right now.
Yeah, I mean, or cease to exist.
It's when you were saying that Vision can't exist without the Soul Stone, I was like, man, that kind of makes me think that, like, if they did break him back, they can go. Well, no, because they have to introduce
the Mind Stone. It's the Mind Stone.
Mind Stone, yeah, not the
one.
The Soul Stone is
like,
oh yeah, Mind Stone.
The Soul Stone is the one that Gamora died for.
The reason I said it's Soul Stone,
Black Widow.
I was thinking about Simon, Wonder Man, because because that's who Vision originally was.
Yeah, you onto something there. You onto something there, Talk. You onto something there, Kaiser.
Clone of another person. Well, I mean, he has his mind. So I was like, bro, if they did go that route, but they would have to introduce Simon, aka Wonder Man. And I don't even think like that would be an interesting thing, because they could theoretically do that by introducing Simon and then going out.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we have Kaiser on this show. He hasn't even seen an episode of WandaVision, but I can tell y'all, I've read ahead a little bit on some things that are going to happen in the show. This man is spot on.
Hey, listen, I would be so clutch to see. It'd be so clutch to see Wonder Man. Like, he's so underrated. But that's exactly how they're going to bring Vision back, basically, because they don't have the Mind Stone. That'd be the only alternative, and it'll be interesting seeing them bring him in, because then that also means they can bring in a Reaper. So. Right. That's cool. That's what's up.
A lot of people are wondering, like UBD is saying, he's thinking that Mephisto is in there some kind of way. A lot of people are wondering who's pulling the things. There's also Agatha Harkness, or how do you say her name? Agatha Harkness, I think it is.
I think it's I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a character on there that seems like she might be that character. Like, people are kind of contemplating and saying that she's kind of helping Wanda kind of pull the strings as well. So
yeah, it's like subtly walking the lines of House of M, because that's
y'all connecting these dots here.
So in the comic book, because Magneto had hired Agatha to help kind of control Wanda, and then he brought in Charles to kind of like help, but Wanda was like, I ain't having none of that.
Facts. So
wait, so I wonder if at the end of WandaVerse, are we gonna get those legendary lines?
I don't know, bro. I think we are. Like, so before I get into Delta's takes on this,
I don't have any takes. Go ahead.
So like the actress, and this is just us, like, trying to guess what it could be, right? Like, the actress that plays Wanda said that there's a Luke Skywalker like moment that happened in Mandalorian where he showed up. She said that there's something on the level of that in this season, which led people to think, like, who could that person be? So we know Wanda is in the multiverse of madness. That's not earth-shattering news. I feel like we have to see Doctor Strange show up. That to me is not a Luke Skywalker level cameo. Yeah. Like, okay, if Doctor Strange is in it, that's cool. I'm not surprised by that.
It already said that he was in it, so we already knew he was going to be there.
Exactly. So if you had to think about a Luke Skywalker cameo that would make sense, who would be that person that would show up in WandaVision?
Magneto.
Yeah, I was just about to say Magneto or Professor X, one of the two, or Professor X, because he will be the only one that can get into her mind. You know?
Do you think that it's the Petro that we just saw? Because she said it before this episode. So do you think it was this dude? I don't think that that's like on the level of Luke Skywalker.
That's not Luke Skywalker. It would have to be.
I mean, like
Magneto or Professor X, one of those two.
You gotta think about, like, if Magneto or Professor X comes in, that basically means mutants are back, or mutants are in this new universe. So that'll change the whole landscape of everything, especially with Disney's acquisition of the X-Men.
Fox. Yeah, Fox franchise.
Yeah,
Fox franchise. So that'll just open up a whole laundry list of things.
Yeah, so, I think so too. So when I first thought about it, I was thinking like maybe Magnus. One person that I think about that would have that kind of level of, oh my God, Deadpool is another one that's a sleeper because we know Deadpool is coming, but when are we going to get that first cameo appearance of Deadpool showing up? He has ties to the X-Men. He's not necessarily tied to Wanda or anyway, but like I feel like if we just seen Deadpool out of nowhere, it would be like, bruh, it's Deadpool. The other thing is Wolverine possibly. Wolverine is, I think, another possible as well. But if we saw Magneto, I just wonder which Magneto are we going to see? Is it going to be Fassbender? Is it going to be the OG Magneto, like with Ian McKellen? Like
it's going to be either Ian McKellen or it's going to be
Ian McKellen
or Professor X, Charles Stewart, or what's his name?
So you think Magneto just shows up like on his little saucer with the thing flying, and he just like saves Wanda or takes her from there?
No, it's gonna be some type of amplification thing where he's able to get into the WandaVision. You know what I mean? That's the only way. It's gonna be some way that they, connect, and he's able to come in there and be like, talk to, I don't know, in a familial sense of way, a father figure type of way, or it's gonna be Professor X that's gonna come to her in the same way, and it's gonna be like when he was inside of Apocalypse's mind. Oh, not Apocalypse. What's his name? God, I'm having a brain fart right now.
You can use anybody. Jean, Angel.
Well, yeah, Jean, yeah. But I see him either be Magneto or Professor X. So
it'll more likely probably be. Honestly, realistically speaking, it'll probably be Professor X. It'll probably be Charles because he is a telepath. So that'd be more useful than Magneto.
If it was Charles, like what could Charles do that's on the level of Luke Skywalker showing up and like doing some damage? Like,
I mean,
I don't think they mean by that. I think they mean just the cameo itself.
Yeah, but I mean, like you gotta think about it realistically, like and logically, it'll be Charles because he's the only person who could penetrate her mental defenses.
So someone is saying, all right, so they're saying that Paul Bettany in the comments, my man UBD, he said, Ace, have you seen the Paul Bettany code? I said, nah, what are you talking about? He said he had a comment that was the same about the Liz Olsen one. And he basically said that there's someone that he's already wanted to work with. And so they said that he's already worked with Ian McKellen on the Da Vinci Code. But he said he hasn't worked with Patrick Stewart or Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart. That's his name, not Charles Stewart.
It could be. Hey, don't sleep on my man Reynolds though. Like, don't sleep on Deadpool. I think Deadpool will be a nice twist.
But see, the Deadpool doesn't make any sense though. That's what I'm saying.
What will he do? What will he kind of like do here? Hey, Wanda.
I mean, he's in the X-Men universe.
No, but see, it makes more sense for Charles Xavier because one, he's a telepath, and we're dealing with somebody who has telepathic powers. That's usually where he comes into play. And the only reason I was agree with the Magneto is because that's her father in a sense. And those are the two plays. We have the father figure and we have the telepath dealing with a telepath.
But you know what's interesting about that though? That if they do bring Magneto and the fact that they bring Magneto in, you know what? I'm gonna go with Charles because right now, especially in the comic books, it's up for debate if Magneto is even their father anymore. So I'm going to go with Charles.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know
it could be both because they could use Cerebral to put Charles in there or to put.
What if it was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? What if it was?
What is Hugh Jackman's connection to Wanda?
Okay, he's an X-Man.
Okay,
wait now. I mean, listen. If we talking about Wolverine's relation to the Wanda and Pietro, I mean, technically, in the Ultimate Universe, he is a dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just what I think.
I mean, and you
I'm
know,
thinking about.
I
think Magnus is either. I think it's either Magnus, because like if I'm thinking of Luke Skywalker showing up on The Mandalorian, he has nothing to do with Mando like that, in my opinion. He has nothing to do with that arc. Who is a person that is one of a Luke Skywalker level type person from Marvel that has not appeared in anything in the MCU? Magneto and Wolverine. If Wolverine came up and he's just tearing people out through the screen and stuff like that, like people are gonna lose their mind, bro. Like that's gonna be trending for days.
But you gotta think how it's gonna fit into the plot line of the story.
Oh, the story,
Wolverine doesn't necessarily fit anywhere. Like I mean, like
he does because the multiverse of madness is breaking. So all of these characters from different areas.
I don't want to see him shoehorn Wolverine into the story that he ain't gonna have to do with it because they will do that. They will do that. They will pull it.
I still feel like they're connected towards the end because if the multiverse is broken and the Fantastic Four are stepping out or something like that, Wolverine stepping out, he is connected in a sense because just like how we have the multiverse also kind of extending the Spider-Man rumor, right? All three of the Spider-Man are showing up in different areas, so it wouldn't be far-fetched for someone like a Wolverine or just like even if it was Cyclops, I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up because they
saying it's somebody from you saying it's some type of X-Men character.
I think that it's a major X-Men character. That's why I think like Charles I can see, but I don't see Charles as like a Luke Skywalker level.
I do. Me personally.
Y'all do? Okay.
And in reference to WandaVision. Yes, but Magneto would be more of a powerful connection to me, than Professor Xavier.
Yeah. Realistically speaking, it's gonna be Charles or Magnus. It's gonna be one of them. Okay. I mean, the only reason, but listen, I'm not. I will say that. I will say this. I won't completely dismiss what you're saying because they did say that the Avengers universe, Marvel universe, is heavily based on the Ultimates universe and not the main 616 universe. So that's why I said unless they want to throw that little curveball in there, which I know they're not going to do, that would work with Wolverine because he is their father in the Ultimate universe. But I probably want to keep it simple with Magneto being their dad instead. Right. So, but like I said, I won't completely dismiss it because they could bring that out of left field. Like, hey guys, remember we said this was based off the Ultimate Universe?
Right. No, I think like for me, if I had to give my first guess, I think that it is Magneto. I would probably say second, probably Charles, like you're saying. I just think third. I just feel like Wolverine is a cheat code, bro. Like Wolverine is a button that you can press. Like Wolverine and Deadpool are like buttons that you can press to get Marvel fans to like lose their mind. And so that's the only reason I feel like they could, and just because they have the connection to the X-Men. But you guys are right; it would make way more sense for it to be either Magnus.
Deadpool is my favorite character in X-Men, Marvel, whatever you want to put it in. That's the only thing that
makes me think like he's got to get introduced some kind of way. Like he's either going to be in this or the Multiverse of Madness because you can't just pick up with Deadpool 3 under Marvel with no kind of introduction to him. Like with Black Panther, right? He was introduced in Civil War and Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War. Like there's got to be some kind of introduction for Deadpool or some of these notable characters before they just show up. So like
which one is coming first though? So is the Multiverse of Madness coming before Deadpool 3?
My whole Deadpool theory came from them like getting ready to like they already confirmed that they're gonna do Deadpool 3 and that they're gonna get ready to start like filming it after Ryan Reynolds or whatever gets his like it seems like it's coming before X-Men. Let me just say that. It seems like Deadpool 3 is gonna come before X-Men. And maybe around the same time that they're going to do Fantastic Four, they're going to start shooting Deadpool 3 in 2022, which is like, that's why I'm saying he has to show up some kind of way. And if it's like, it's not going to be in Winter Soldier and Falcon, he has nothing to do with them. It has to be in something, whether it's either in the
that would make more sense to me than WandaVision, though.
You would think him showing up in there would make more sense.
That would make more sense, bro.
Because he's because of the soldier thing?
Because of the type of character that he is. Like,
okay.
Now we gonna talk about people coming out of left field. Him and the Winter Soldier and the Falcon would be way out of left field. You know what I mean? Like, but I understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to say
disagree with me. I'm just trying to figure out like if you're gonna start shooting Deadpool in 2022, how is he introed into the MCU? Like it has to be some kind of, and that's why I was just thinking like, well, maybe it might be this, maybe it might be Multiverse of Madness. Like I think that they have to do a lot in these movies. We don't know what their plan is, but obviously they have to introduce mutants. Like that's an obvious. They have to introduce where the Fantastic Four was, and I think a lot of that, me personally, this is just my theory. I think a lot of that is going to be done in that Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2 movie, but that's also connected to this. And it's also rumored to be connected to the Spider-Man movie too. So apparently from what I've been reading, the claim is that this movie is going to end with the multiverse breaking. I don't know if that leads into Spider-Man or Doctor Strange, but one of the two. And then one of those is like the third act of like the continuance of that story. And then we get back to where I'm assuming we're going to be in this new universe where the Fantastic Four are there, the X-Men are there. But like literally right now, we don't have any existence of mutants. So I'm like, they gotta lay the groundwork, I think, either in this show. And I think that they're already trying to do it, throwing Quicksilver in. Technically, Quicksilver is the very first person from the X-Men to come over, but technically he already existed. So he's not a brand new character, but he's the first to come over from that universe into here.
Right.
So I think you guys are right though. Like if I had to put money on it, I'm saying Magneto or Professor X.
Yeah.
The one that would blow my mind is if it were like Deadpool or like Wolverine. That would catch me out of left field for sure. But we talked a lot about WandaVision. Let's shift gears to, we kind of talked about Star Wars. So let's get into Star Wars. Delta, you wanted to talk some Star Wars. So what we got to talk about when it comes to Star Wars?
We just got a crazy lineup, coming, within the next 2 to 3 years. We got Mandalorian, we got Boba Fett, we have the Cassian Andor series, which I'm not really gonna be. I'm just gonna be honest. We don't have I'm not a fan of that. We don't. I'm not gonna sit here and cast, early dispersions on it, but I'm not interested in casting Andor. Then we're gonna have the Obi-Wan series. We got the Bad Batch coming, cartoon series. Go ahead, Kaiser.
No, I'm just hyping it up. Cool.
Yeah, man. Cause look, we got some things coming from Disney. I'm not even gonna lie. Like we got some things.
It's some heat coming.
Got some heat coming. So we all seen everybody. I'm sure y'all seen the Mandalorian season 2, and we talked about Luke Skywalker, and we talked about how they have really made the Mandalorian a main character in the Star Wars universe that is a staple. Like somebody that we don't even know from any other type of content, and they've made him a staple. Mm-hmm. Like, and now everybody wants to know, well, what happened to Grogu during the purge of the second Jedi Order with Luke Skywalker and whatnot. Now you got people trying to figure out where was Boba at this whole time. Now he about to get a series. Like now, do Obi-Wan Kenobi and Boba and Mandalorian, not Mandalorian, but do the Obi-Wan and Boba ever cross paths while the series was going on? So it's just a lot going on right now, especially. And then they bringing back the Bad Batch. What's gonna happen with the Bad Batch series? Like, is it gonna be after? It's gonna be after the events of
It's not gonna come
Revenge of the Sith, or is it gonna be like during A New Hope, like, or is it gonna be doing Empire Strikes Back? Like, what is that time frame? Because at some point, a lot of the clones are not even in the stormtroopers. Like, they become stormtroopers at some point, but they stop. Like, they're no longer a part of the regular army, as you could say, for the Empire. So But what do you think, man? What do you think is going on here? Like, what's the direction you see?
So I feel like, all right. So first, I must talk about the Bad Batch. So I think the Bad Batch takes place after Order 66.
Yeah.
I think that's the most logical time frame to put them in, because during like when it gets to Luke's timeline, the Battle of Yavin, they're old. All the clothes are old. But
yeah.
Just a quick tangent. You actually, if you ever watched the old was it Return of the Jedi movie? Rex was actually in that movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, nah, yeah. Nah, they showed him. They showed him. Yeah.
So cool. I got so cool finding out all these years. But yeah, Bad Batch is probably gonna take place before like the Battle of Yavin and stuff like that. When Luke came around, it's probably gonna take place after Order 66. I'm hyped for Kenobi. If you don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi is like my favorite Star Wars character. Period.
Yeah. Like
I'm so hyped and seeing his life as he's going
through
and been a hermit on Tatooine. Man, I'm so hyped for this.
Like what was going through his mind after Revenge of the Sith? Like, was he feeling did he cut himself off from the Force? Did he do what Luke did? Just was like, or was he still in contact through the Force with Yoda during the whole time? Like, or did he just cut himself off from Yoda? Was he having dreams and nightmares of Anakin Skywalker, of Darth Vader? Was he feeling all that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know.
We got so much material on what Anakin was doing after, Order 66 and Return of the Sith in the comic books, but you don't really get any information on what Obi was doing. You know what I mean? I guess most people are like, he probably was just in the desert, just chilling. No, he probably did other stuff, especially because at the end of was it Rebels? I think it was when
Rebels. He fought Darth Maul for the last time.
Yeah. So
and he was still in good fighting shape. So like, come on, like, what was he doing? Like, so what was he doing before that, though? You know what I mean? And that's what I hope they bring. I hope the Kenobi series, however long it may be, is from that time to the Darth Maul time. Like if they can bring that to live action, like that's
gonna be so clutch. And then and then you had the questions about Grogu, and like everything happened at the end of The Mandalorian. Right. So now with them basically saying, hey, those last 3 movies, nah. And if it's all new sequels, I feel like we're basically gonna see Grogu more now, because they're gonna start with these new movies, and they're gonna probably implement more stuff with Luke, because when these prequels, when these new sequel movies came out, it was so much like talk about what they're going to do with them, because there was so much material out there from the extended universe. Right. And I think this last time, I think we talked about this a long time ago. We were recording it, but we just talking about it. Me and Art were talking about it. I was like, they have so many avenues they could go through, because there's so much material out there from years after like the Battle of Yavin, when he fully became a Jedi Master. He started his new order. He has students. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm so excited, because I really hope they do take from those materials, because I would love to see Jace and Jaina Solo in live action. I would love to see his wife Mira Jade. I would love to see his son Ben. I would love to see all that. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so hopeful for what's coming next, and I hope that it's better than the current sequels, because they feel so flat. They
did. I hate it. I'm sorry. I still
they left entirely.
I still hate that last one, the second to last one. I mean, for them to like Luke Skywalker, like how he showed up in The Mandalorian, that's Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's Luke Skywalker. Take notes and make sure you do that now. I know that they said Kevin Feige is over there helping them. It seems like he's not running everything.
He's getting a movie to produce. He's getting a movie to produce.
Yeah, so that's going to be dope seeing him over there. I just want to see. I know we're getting the Ahsoka series. That's dope.
Forgot about the Ahsoka series. Dang.
Love what they did with her coming in. Love what they did with Boba Fett with his series. I wonder. I need that Darth Maul, bro. Like, I need that.
Well, this is why we're not gonna get Darth Maul, because one, originally they weren't gonna bring him back anyway. but we got a ton of him in the Clone Wars. We got a ton of him in Rebels. So
I want live action. I don't want the cartoons.
Look, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So whenever they get towards that end for that Kenobi like mini series or whatever, they have to bring live action Maul in at the end of that.
He's got to be in because he was in what movie was that? Like it was a newer movie, and he was the chick the whole time was like a double agent reporting to him. Solo. We gotta get him, bro. We gotta get him. Like for me, it was just an injustice. His character, how short lived it was, bro. Like we need that. Like he's one of the most popular Sith Lords out there, and he probably had to get shelf life.
They fleshed him out for, like he said, they pretty much fleshed him out in the animated series. I don't see them revisiting him again because they've already fully fleshed him out enough in the animated series. Like I get what you're saying. Like it would be clutch to see a Darth Maul series, but you pretty much be rehashing the same things over and over again, and then you wouldn't be able to do as much as they did in the animated series. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if they were able to do, you wouldn't be able to do that with live action. So I feel like it's pretty much like, we got that closure for Darth Maul. We got more than enough because, like you said, he's supposed to be a one and done villain. He was really supposed to be just one and done.
Right.
Like that was just supposed to be make that quick little movie cameo, get sliced up, tossed to the side. But people liked him so much that
I love Darth Maul, dog. Like he's one of if it's like Vader and the Emperor, it's like Darth Maul for me is right there. Like he's just and maybe it's because I haven't watched those shows. For like the people like me that aren't familiar with that, we don't have that feeling of we got closure on Darth Maul because we never watched that. All we saw was Darth Maul get chopped up in half. Yeah. Then we saw him appear in the Solo. So we're thinking like if you're just like me, if you didn't watch Clone Wars, you're thinking, oh, Darth Maul they about to bring him back in some kind of capacity. But like
they would have to. I would think they would have to because them bringing him on that giving him that Solo cameo was like, all right, so y'all gonna bring him live action, but where are y'all gonna put him at? Like, are they gonna put him in the Cassian Andor series? Now, if they do that, I'll watch the Cassian Andor series because I don't have any
Some people
interest in that
expect him to show up in the Obi-Wan show, so I don't know.
That doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be they don't see each other since they last fight on Florum in the Clone Wars.
If he does show, it will probably be in flashbacks.
Yeah, I can see it being in flashbacks. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind at all. If he did get his own series, but if it don't make sense, then it probably isn't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. But another thing,
knowing Disney, they probably will end up giving it to him, but I don't think they should. I think they'll be doing a lot of retconning. They'll be doing a lot of retconning.
I wouldn't even want to. Even if it's a prequel of like before he even got and fought Qui-Gon Jinn, I'm signing up for that.
I'm there for that.
I want to know where he came
the time from his training,
why he was recruited.
I want that.
Know all of that.
Yeah, I want that.
They could possibly do that, but like I said, that's already been fleshed out in the comic books too. So they could probably do that because that wasn't seen as much in animated series, and that'd probably be the logical thing to do, a prequel series about him. But yeah, he's pretty fleshed out at this point. They pretty much put everything about him is already out there. So.
Except for his training and how he was found and whatnot. Like they got that fan series thing, but I'm talking about like canon, content.
Somebody said, and the guy who's writing Kevin's Star Wars movie is the guy who wrote WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. So he also said Park got canceled.
Nah,
hey, they could get Scott Adkins to play Darth Maul, man.
Yeah.
The other thing that we got to talk about is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 84. So I'm gonna let you start off. I think that I have a very unpopular take on this, so I'll let you start off.
No, let's hear yours first. Let's hear the unpopular one.
So for me, like, go ahead, Kaiser. Did you?
Let's get the bad out the way first.
Yeah. All right. So for me, I was a huge fan of the first Wonder Woman movie. I liked how they kind of tied in the historic kind of vibes. It really reminded me a lot of a more modern version of Captain America: The First Avenger. How they kind of
agreed, 100%
stuff with her background. So obviously that was like she set the bar with that movie. Like me personally, I didn't come in thinking that they were going to exceed that one because that was a really good movie for DC.
Yeah, 100%.
In my opinion. Like I didn't expect it measuring up to that. The things that I liked about Wonder Woman 84, I think it had a different overall message. Like I like the message that the movie itself was sending in terms of people being able to have anything that they wish for, whether it's loved ones that have passed away back, whether it's this and that. Like basically everyone was being able to be sold on whatever you want, I can make this happen for you. And I really loved the performances by the dude that's from The Mandalorian, that actor.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal, he did his thing. Cheetah was terrifying, bro. Like Cheetah was one of my favorite, like seeing where she started at to where she ended at, you almost could, like, to me, I could kind of sympathize with her feeling the way that she did and doing the things that she did. And for her to go from that transformation for trying to be a friend of Diana to being pretty much an enemy by the end of the movie, I thought was dope. The fact that Wonder Woman really didn't beat the dude, and there's this other story with Pedro's character, this connection with his son, this whole thing from where he was kind of a loser, being made fun of in front of his son, to like where he kind of got at, where it was mostly about him not really wanting to look at his son like that. That was something that I like. I like the fact that Wonder Woman really didn't beat him, bro. Like he had to leave because of his love for his son is what really ended up defeating him. Like he technically won. Like it wasn't that Wonder Woman beat him or stopped him and stuff like that, but she knew that she could play on him with, all right, you can either have what you want, which is literally everything, or you can go and save your son. So for me, like just knowing that everyone can't have everything, and if everyone had everything, the world would just be chaotic, and like seeing everybody, like seeing that power demonstrated on a screen, I think was a hard thing to do, but I think that they did a great job of like illustrating what would happen if everyone had everything. So for me, I think a lot of people are going to probably say it didn't have enough action, but I think the overall message about doing things the right way, you know, sometimes you can't get what you wish for. You can't cheat and get everything that you want. I thought was a good moral of the story for me. And also like her knowing that she can't have dude back because Wanda, because Diana was also caught up in that. She wanted dude that was gone. Like, so like certain people, like at first when I watched it, it didn't make sense because I wasn't fully watching it. So I thought that he just appeared for basically no reason, but that was her wish. So he came in somebody else's body
while she was holding it.
She was holding him. So that's why it was like that. And I felt like a lot of people were like, oh, he was dead and this and that. But I'm like, nah, if you're paying attention to the movie, he granted her wish. And then
no, he didn't. She was holding the stone. Yeah, and she said it while she was like talking, holding the stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Her wish was granted with that. And then him turning himself into the stone. You know, I like the two villains' performances, me personally. And I just like the overall message because to me, it was kind of different from what I've seen personally just from a comic book movie. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I kind of got emotional watching that movie a couple of times because it made me think of
when she ran away from him. I definitely did.
Yeah, people that passed away that I wanted back. So I could understand why you would want somebody back or you would want this and that because you know, I feel that. I understand, like, as a father, why he would want his son to see him in a certain light. So for me, I kind of felt that because I'm like, nah, bro, like, yeah, you got everything you want, but your son ain't good. I'm not mad at you for leaving and going and doing that. So for me, like, I know a lot of people trashed it. I didn't think the movie was that bad. Like, honestly, like, did it live up to the first one? No, but it wasn't like this was like Dark Phoenix. Like people was trashing this like it was like Dark Phoenix or something. And I just
even remember Dark Phoenix like that.
Bro, like it's not Spider-Man 3. Like Spider-Man 3, one of the worst comic book movies I ever seen in my life. So if you ever say that,
I thought you loved it, bro. I thought you loved it.
Nah, bro. Nah. That was the worst comic book movie I have probably ever seen in my life. There's probably one that's worse, but that's the one that comes to mind for me. So, like, if I had to give it out of a 10, what would I give it? Probably a 7, 7.5. Like, but I felt like more people were talking about it like it was like a 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. So that was just my take on it. And I know I'm not gonna be in the majority.
I'm with you, bro. I gave it an 8 because with that, you have to give that story with Wonder Woman. You have to, because now you got it out the way. One, and then two, like you said, she beat one villain but didn't beat the other. And most comic movies, they beat both the villains if there's two. Like, so she really didn't beat the second one. So you gave her some type of humanness to her. You know what I'm saying? Right. And at the same time, like, I felt the story needed to be told. Like, you know what I mean? Because she has to put some type of closure on the fake Steve Rogers. You know what I'm saying? she has to have some closure on, because that's all he was. He was Steve Rogers without the. He was Captain Rogers without the powers, bro.
Like the reverse.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it worked well for both characters. They had to put that to rest, and then to see the transformation of the cheetah from who she was until who she became. Like, you needed to see that. Like, and then Pedro Pascal's character, seeing him showing that wanting everything and trying to get everything was like a drug that was tearing him from the inside out. Right. And they needed to show that with Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Because she's all about justice and doing the right thing. Like, it's not. And
even she was tempted.
Exactly. Because her character is not a Superman or a Batman. You know what I mean? Her character is always been really straightforward with no flaws. Like, you need to show her with those flaws. You know what I mean?
What you think, Kaiser? You the DC guy, so you probably gonna rip us off, rip us up with this one.
I'm not just DC guy, but you know, I like Marvel and DC equally. But I will say this: the movie was enjoyable for what it was, and this is me nitpicking, and because of how I feel about these characters and how they were portrayed. Mm-hmm. What the hell? Because they had Maxwell Lord. I was like, Maxwell Lord character. That's who Pedro played. Maxwell Lord. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a son. Mm. I didn't understand. He wasn't a business owner. I was like, so why would you use Maxwell Lord of all people? Like, I mean, even though he's not the most relevant character, he is relevant for one thing that he did, and he was relevant for the fact that Wonder Woman did kill him in the comics. But I didn't understand why they used him of all people. And then I felt like they kind of shoehorned Cheetah in there to get that action, to get at least a little bit of action in. And then I didn't like how Cheetah even became Cheetah. It didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, that's not how.
Because she wanted to be Diana, bro. She wanted to be her. So I'm saying in the movie though.
I get that. I get it for the movie that, you know.
How did she become Cheetah? And for those like that are listening like me that don't know how she became Cheetah, how did she become Cheetah in the comic books?
So it's like a few different ways she became Cheetah. The most two that are prominent is that she was a scientist and she basically like genetically modified herself. Yeah. And in the second one, I think that's more
scientific accident.
I think the one that's the more recent one that's kind of floating around now is that she found an artifact. She still was a scientist, but she was a different type of scientist, and she found an artifact that granted mystic artifact that turned her into like that, some kind of African cheetah god or something like that. Because she's basically Wonder Woman's main enemy. Like, she's her arch enemy, basically.
Yeah, right. for sure.
When you think about Wonder Woman, you think about Cheetah. And I didn't like how like they basically like made this character, this iconic character, and they just kind of like shoehorn. Not only did they shoehorn her in the movie, but it kind of changed everything about her and how she got her powers. I mean, it was cool seeing Cheetah on the big screen, but it was just kind of like, eh.
But I can see a little bit. So like that second one you said, where she got her powers from
the artifact.
technically she did.
Yeah.
Like, technically she did because they found the artifact, and when she asked to be like Wanda, it came from the artifact. Diana. And then when she asked to be the apex predator, it was to dude who had consumed the artifact, and he technically was the artifact.
Listen, if I don't know, because I got no. This is why I say shoehorn it, because you wouldn't say I want to be an apex predator and you turn to a cheetah. Cheetahs are not apex predators.
No, whoa. Yes, they are. Whoa.
They are not.
Yes, they are apex predators. What are you talking about? They are apex predators. They're just not. They're not a tiger or a lion, but they're definitely apex predators. What are you talking about? Look up apex predator, and I guarantee you'll find that a cheetah is an apex predator.
They are not apex predators.
They are.
Get pulled like all the time by like
lions. That's it.
No, not just lions. We ain't considered to that's Virginia traffic. But nah. But so yeah. So I mean, like I like the movie, and I thought it was like a good little movie. But for like a follow-up movie from their first one, I felt like the tone was off. I felt like it was kind of like dragged on in certain places. It really didn't know what it wanted to be as far as like a movie. It didn't know if it wanted to be action. It didn't know if it wanted to like the story. It didn't know if this, that, and the third. And it's kind of like it kind of was hard for me to get to. If my first watch, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But then I watched the second time, I was like, okay, that don't make no sense. Why did they do that? What?
See, for me it was the opposite, and I don't know if it was because at first I wasn't paying attention. The second time I watched it, more stuff made sense. Like at first, I didn't even know how dude like showed up. I'm like, all right, how did he just like get here? But the things that made sense to me the second time, the other thing too that they kind of had floating is that she wasn't giving any dude a chance, right? Any dude that tried to approach her, none of them got a chance or whatever, right? And even the dude says, like, what about this dude that's body that I'm in? Like, he got a nice job. He's got nice things, this and that. And it kind of said to me at the end of the movie where she seen him after he had left his body, that maybe she was finally ready to try to get somebody else to try to jump out there and date again instead of just being depressed and heartbroken over losing dude. Like, she wasn't even giving nobody the time of day.
Steve Rogers,
0.50. And then I like the fact, like I said, with Maxwell Lord. Like Maxwell Lord isn't.
He tried to play a cheetah, man. He tried to play the cheetah like they won an apex.
They're not apex anyway.
They are.
Not they but anyway, and the way they did Maxwell, they handled Maxwell Lord, like they made they made him such they bastardized his character. Like from what he was.
They said he is a businessman. They said he's depicted as a shrewd, powerful businessman.
Maxwell Lord was the head of a shield-like
organization. So yeah, that definitely wasn't that.
Called Checkmate or something like that.
Okay.
Like King or something like that. But he also has limited telepathy. I think it was like telekinesis. Yeah. Yeah, like he was a far cry from the Maxwell Lord from the comic books. And I was just like, okay, so I mean, it was an interesting character using that place because when I thought Maxwell Lord, I was like, oh, are they finna go into the OMAC? Are they finna do like Crisis? Are they finna do like Crisis on Infinite Earths? Or that's finna go to Crisis on Earth? So I don't know. It kind of like I don't know. I'm kind of torn between how I feel about it. And then I didn't like the fact that like this giant global phenomenon incident happened and it's never mentioned or referenced in any of the movies prior. You feel me? Because like
the thing is, you gotta give these characters an origin story though.
Oh, you talking about since this happened in '84, it wasn't referenced in anything else?
Yeah, I mean, like I could understand if it was like it just happened in one city. Right. Like, you know, like stuff that happened in Gotham, you know, nobody talking about outside of Gotham because it's happening in Gotham. Stuff happened in Metropolis, because Metropolis. But this happened all over the world. This was like a global phenomenon. Like,
that's valid.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, like, even in like, Lord forbid, you mentioned in this terrible movie, Batman v Superman, you know, she was mentioned in that movie, you know what I mean?
But you got to think about the time period, though. The time period was fast forwarded till 2016, not in 1984.
Yeah, but 1984 happened. So
He's saying that he
but-
wishes they would have referenced it in
They would've-
1984.
I mean, the moment she popped up, should have been like, I remember this woman. She helped that incident that happened in 84.
But okay. Are any of these characters old enough besides Batman to be those people? Because
I think what Kaiser is expecting is for DC to have a Kevin Feige, which they do not.
Their continuity is a little off. You feel
Their
me?
continuity is super off.
but are you talking about but he knows that she been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
It happened in 84, though. It happened in
80, okay, 84. Okay.
Did they reference the events of the first movie? Did they reference
where is Batman? Where is Batman at that time?
In Gotham City.
As a kid.
He's a kid. You would still remember that.
Man, come on, man.
Bro,
because Batman's character is based on, hey, my parents got killed by somebody. I don't know, whoever that may be. And guess what? I am hell bent on getting revenge and being by myself. I don't care about what nobody else is doing.
Was involved with Wonder Woman?
Don't even get me started. Don't even open that can of worms, Batman, because that your whole rant on how much I hate him.
I get what Tar said.
Batman.
I don't think you can blame
series. I hate Batman. I hate Batman so much.
I don't think you can blame Wonder Woman 84 for Batman versus Superman not referencing something when that was like something that was full of plot holes.
No, I think you think about Justice League too, though.
Justice League too. Like but both of those movies,
Heavy Superman.
It's just tough because they had so many different hands in the pot, like with things jumping all over the place. Like when was the Suicide Squad? Like when was that? Is that
right?
Right.
And why do they have to go get the Suicide Squad?
Like is the Joker isn't considered a part of that, but I would think that other people are kind of confused, like where Joker fits in, where the Christopher Nolan Batman movies fit in. Like it's just. For DC, I can't hold that against that movie just because things are just so all over the place. And it's going to get even more crazy when we have the Snyder Cut come out. It's going to be a whole bunch of – it's going to be even more like confusion.
So the Christopher Nolan movies is basically going to be like – let's say that's a whole different timeline. So they don't it don't matter. But like if DC wants to compete with Marvel, like not saying like people like be riding Marvel heavy. But I will say, and I mean, not all of the movies are as good as people say they are. But the one thing I will say is that they're all one cohesive, connected universe. Mm-hmm. So if something happened in one movie, it gets referenced in another movie, in another times, in another frame. Exactly. But with DC, it's like these world happenings, like world chaotic.
But they've always been like that on this alternate timeline.
There's like three different Batmans
from day one. We know that.
There's like three different Batmans floating out.
It's five different Batmans, five different Supermans. Like,
but this is still technically a part of that Justice League universe, though.
Right.
You talking about the DC?
I understand what you're saying, but they've always been on this like off kilter. Branched off timeline. Like they've always been like that. Because even in Marvel, the timeline has always been symmetrical unless they straight up tell you, no, this is an alternate universe. You don't get that with DC.
Yeah, because even like, and they started off doing pretty good with Man of Steel. Man of Steel happened, and it bled into like Batman.
That was one of their better movies.
Yeah,
and people talk about Man of Steel all the time. Like,
Man of Steel is good.
It's really good. I don't know what to talk about. Oh, he's too dark. Okay, I guess.
Like the DC universe. Dark.
It's so dark. So edgy. Martha.
I think they should have man, they should have did whatever they could to bring the Christian Bale / Christopher Nolan Batman.
I always felt like Christopher Nolan should have been the Kevin Feige for DC in terms of like making he didn't necessarily have to direct
make every movie. Yeah.
But he could direct the storyline. Like, all right, you tell whatever story here, but make sure this makes sense.
Yeah,
You
like
do
the
it here.
Russo brothers and all them.
Yeah,
Like,
just
yeah,
make-
like, okay, look,
it
this is
makes
what we
sense.
gonna do over here. And then when you make your movie, you gonna tie it into this one. And then
it's
when
like,
you make your movie, you gonna tie it into this one.
I saw something this weekend where it was like a lot of what Marvel did was pre-planned. So like they had a lot of like, you know, it almost looked like PlayStation 3 graphics where they mapped out certain scenes that were going to happen. So even though they were working on this movie, like let's just say Avengers 1, they already knew what was going to be happening in, you know, Infinity
Black
War.
Panther or something
Yeah,
like that.
Because they already scripted out like virtually certain scenes. And I don't know if DC has done that, but
no.
It's just all about the planning. Like, had they have done that from like the get-go and had that structure, the way that I remember it is like this. When Marvel started to catch fire, we knew like the Avengers and stuff was coming. DC was like, oh snap, they've already jumped out. We just gonna hurry up and do whatever we can to try to catch it up. And like then that resulted in them rushing out movies, like throwing all of their characters that didn't even have some origin stories in other movies all in one movie because you're just trying to compete with Marvel and their timeline. And to me, they just never recovered from that. Where if they would have just taken a step back and not tried to rush to the market to be the first one to have that big movie, they could have at least developed their characters, developed a plan, and had a solid thing. Like we don't even know what the DCU is like, because like at first it was like they had a straight up existence for it, and then like something happened and they were like, oh, the DCU universe doesn't exist anymore. And it's like, what? Like, so what goes with what? And
right,
you know, I thought that they had a good thing going, like you said, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman 1 and 2. I'm not a big fan of Aquaman, but cool.
I like Aquaman. I'm a fan. I like how strong they may look. They ain't make Aquaman look like some punk, too many villains, you know, that just talk to fish. That's what I liked about Aquaman.
Listen to me,
y'all in that movie for me, just me personally, because it was like, all right, who's the bad guy? Like
you said, what? Say that again.
Dude? Is it this dude? Like, who's the real bad guy?
Aquaman. Listen. All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna deal with Delta coming first. Y'all gotta get off Aquaman. Aquaman has been that dude since forever.
I know. Oh no, I love Aquaman. I love Aquaman. No, they always try to make Aquaman look like this punk, like they just talk to fish. You know what I'm saying?
Aquaman like it ain't nothing, and be coming out sometimes on top. So y'all got
no. Let's separate the character himself from the movie.
Oh no! In the movie, yeah, you're right.
I liked Aquaman the movie. I thought it was one of the better ones. It was better than that Man versus
CGI was amazing.
Superman versus Batman. That was garbage, bro.
It was good, but you can definitely feel the Marvel elements in it.
It was just like a big CGI.
And what in Aquaman?
Yeah.
Story.
I don't know, man. We see if you know who Black Manta is, and you know who his brother is, who wants to take the throne, but we know who the real person who owns the throne. I get what you're saying, but they had to. Black Manta has to be. He has to get introduced in Aquaman, but you got to give a bigger character in his life first to knock down, and then you bring in Black Manta, you know, as the movie or as whatever the storyline goes along.
Right. I thought those movies, like even if I'm not the biggest fan of Aquaman, I thought those movies were a great start for them. Like, all right, you came out with Wonder Woman, you Shazam, y'all knocked that out of the park. I'll give you your credit on that too. Like they were really getting something, and I think they ran into a roadblock, but I think they may be finding their way back, but I still feel like they've made that same mistake. They know Batman
has to be the glue.
They know that, like Batman is their Wolverine, so like they just are like
messing him up though, because they didn't put the right. The thing is you.
I don't know what Batman is from what timeline. You got the Christopher Nolan one.
Give me the Christopher Nolan one. That's gonna be the best Batman for this series.
Dude from Breaking Dawn is him now. You got Ben Affleck. Like who is the one that's in here,
bro? They gotta get. This is what I'm trying to.
I heard that they're gonna do another one. I heard they're doing another one.
So as of right now in the DC universe of cinematics, we have 3 Batman, right? We got the Robert Pattinson, and then we got the Ben Affleck, and then we got Christian Bale. Christian Bale is the one that needs to be in there.
Christian Bale does not want to do the voice thing anymore. He said it hurt.
Exactly. I know that, but I'm saying this. I'm saying this is what I'm saying though. Christopher Nolan's idea of Batman is the one that needs to be a part of the Justice League. Not necessarily the character of not the actor needs to be a part of it, but the character.
Ben Affleck was way better than I thought he was gonna be. I ain't gonna lie. He was way better than I thought he was gonna be, bro. And I was
all right. I'm over here doing weights with chains on it, like I'm out here, bro. They thought he's not Terrell Suggs, bro. It's not Terrell Suggs, bro.
You really like the Christian Bale Batman like a whole bunch?
Yeah, I love this character, bro.
It was cool, but that Batman voice was
it wasn't necessarily the actor. It was the character of Batman that was created. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, give Christopher Nolan needs to be the guy. His vision of Batman needs to be in there, not necessarily Christian Bale.
I like the Ben Affleck Batman because he was slightly darker. He had like more of an edge on him, like.
Man, come on, man.
You
can't tell me that Christian Bale's wasn't
Michael
pretty
Keaton is the GOAT, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Michael Keaton for me is Batman. There's only one Batman for me. That's all I can say. Like, that's why I'm glad.
And it's only one Bruce Wayne for me. So
yeah, Michael Keaton.
No. See, this is where you got to mess up.
Michael Keaton.
No, look. Let me tell you something.
Michael Keaton was the best.
The best Bruce Wayne. The best Bruce Wayne was George Clooney because Bruce Wayne, not Batman. See, look at y'all. Look at y'all.
Val Kilmer.
No. We are talking about Bruce Wayne, not Batman. They are two different people. I'm saying the best Bruce Wayne was George Clooney. The best Batman. You say Michael Keaton, I'll say Christian Bale or Michael Keaton. You can go with either one. But we talking about the darkest character. You said the darkest character is Ben Affleck. Why you say that?
I mean, I just like what he brought to it. Like, I feel like with Bale's character, which I get it, Batman doesn't kill anyone. I don't feel like Ben Affleck's character was like, I'm not killing anybody. Like, he might have caught some bodies. Like, he might have caught some bodies somewhere. But this is what they got as far as the best Batman actors rank. They got Ben Affleck as the worst.
They're pulling up receipts now. Oh, they pulling up receipts.
The worst. George Clooney.
Yeah, right. That's cool. Get that out of here. Val Kilmer was way worse.
Val Kilmer was like the best Batman and Bruce Wayne combined. He had the best of both.
I just remember Val Kilmer being fat for the role, bro. That was
saying Val Kilmer, bro.
He was the fat
Val
Batman.
Kilmer.
Adam West, Christian Bale, and the GOAT, bro. It's the GOAT.
Okay, but Val Kilmer is not that. Val Kilmer was not better than fucking George Clooney. Excuse my language.
Was better than George Clooney, bro.
No, he wasn't, bro. No, he wasn't. Y'all not about to keep playing my boy George Clooney like that, bro. Y'all not about to keep doing that.
You need to go back and rewatch Batman.
I was just watching Batman Forever and Batman and Robin the other day. I was just watching it, bro. That's my man. Chris O'Donnell is as Robin.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. Yeah, bro. I was just watching that.
Okay. Yeah,
I just can't do. I don't know, man. Val Kilmer, I couldn't take that.
Val Kilmer was in Batman Forever. Nah, bro. Val Kilmer was better, bro.
I couldn't take Val Kilmer, bro. I couldn't do it.
Was better. Yeah, I have to say that. Yeah, Val Kilmer wasn't that bad. He wasn't.
All right, man. All right.
But I just want to see, like, with us getting Michael Keaton back into that universe, that's just gonna be dope. I just want to see, like, I don't know if they're doing Batman Beyond.
Yeah, they're doing Batman Beyond. That was the best animated series to me, though.
They should have been that movie.
That one between that Batman Beyond and the one with the guy that he been playing the same voice for him forever. I forget what
it should have did Batman Beyond and had Patterson be Teddy.
You said what? You said what, Kaiser?
Kevin, which I think his name is Kevin something. I can't remember his last name.
It's the Batman that we all used to watch growing up. You know what I'm saying? When he had the
Batman,
the futuristic joint. Yeah. All right, but we have I was glad to be back with the fellas. We definitely gonna have to do this again.
I like the new intro is fire. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man.
That subscribe button for sure. But hope you guys like the new intro. Leave us some comments. Please be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you guys next time.